When we talk about investing, we talk about investing apps. If you're interested in which apps you should be using in 2020, join me in today's video because I will go through the most popular list of investing apps. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up you guys? Lucas here from excelwealth.com. Now, of course, in today's video, I actually want to share with you the best investing apps that you should be using, of course. Now, it doesn't really matter if you're in the US or if you're in Europe, of course, because I will go through both of those lists of the US and, of course, here in Europe. But before we go into the video, of course, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet, because that's the way how we can grow our community. Okay, let's get into it. Now in today's video, I will go through 3 categories of investing app so that you can actually find out which investing apps suits you the best so that you can invest your money safely and the way you want it to. Now, app number 1 is called, of course, Robinhood. Now, Robinhood is, of course, an app only available if you're in the US, of course. Now, for me, I live in the Netherlands. Robinhood is not available for me. But I have a lot of clients who use Robinhood, of course, because my clients are also US based. And they actually reach out to me, Lucas, can you tell me more about Robinhood? Now, what I do know about Robinhood, of course, not because of my own experiences, since I cannot use Robinhood. Now, there are ways that you can use Robinhood apps on your Android phone, for example, if you're using a VPN, of course. But then again, you know, there are different apps that I can use as well here in the Netherlands. Now, Robinhood is, of course, completely free for you to use. How do they make their money, of course? Well, it's always interesting. The moment you have money lying around on your bank account that you're not investing, that's how they make their money, because you know it is on their account, so they can use your money that is not being used at that very moment. Now, the first cool part that I love about Robinhood is they allow you to buy fractional shares. That just means you don't have to buy one full share of a certain stock if you don't want to. Now, you can just choose to say, you know what, I'll just buy 1 millionth share of Apple, which is totally fine. Now, they give you some other options as well. For example, option trading. You can buy full stocks and you can do option trading, of course. But the most important thing is, of course, index funds and ETFs. But what you need to remember as well is that Robinhood doesn't allow everything. For example, there are no mutual funds that you can buy, although they do invest in index funds, but not in mutual funds. You can't buy bonds, for example, not the James Bond. Of course, bonds like government bonds and big companies that issue bonds. They don't do that. They don't do CDs, for example, certificate of deposits. So you have to remember there are some things that you cannot invest in, and there are things that you can invest in using Robinhood. And that's why I love Robinhood very much. Also for my US clients who say, hey, Luke, I'm using Robinhood. Is that okay? Is that a good, okay investing app that I can use to invest using a strategy that you offered me? The answer is, of course, absolutely yes. Now, the second app that I love very much as well is M1 Finance. So M1 Finance is far more extensive compared to Robinhood because they allow far more things to do. The only thing they do not allow is, of course, mutual funds and option trading. But next to that, they do allow day trading, for example. And they have an option to reinvest automatically as well, which is very cool. But the thing is, I've heard many of my clients say, you know, M1 Finance, the app itself could be a little bit complicated sometimes. But then again, of course, one of the greatest advantages they have as well is you can buy fractional shares. So the moment my US clients always ask me, Lucas, which app should I use to be investing in? I always recommend either use Robinhood or M1 Finance if you have no choice yet, because both apps allow index funds investing, which is the way I love to start your investing journey with, of course. This is why this is my first category. It is free to invest in index funds. It's very easy. M1 Finance even allows reinvesting because, you know, I'd always tell my students to use the dollar cost averaging method. And of course, using a strategy that I tell my students how to make more money using that strategy. Now, this is the category 1. Now, the third investing app is, of course, Acorns, as you can see over here. Now, Acorns is very interesting. Acorns also does a lot of fractional investing. They also give you the option of investing in index funds. But there is a different strategy that Acorns has applied. Now they tell you you can choose in which kind of portfolio you would like to invest in. Now we give you several options. And if I'm correct, they give you 5 options to choose from. And these 5 options give you like in different levels of risk. So for example, the more risk you have on this end, of course, the more return you could have as well. This is the interesting part. This is how Acorn makes their money. And there are a lot of people who make their money through Acorns as well. Now, the thing is, the moment one of my students reach out to me and say, Lucas, I want to invest through Acorns. Is that a good idea? Now, whereas Robinhood and M1 Finance, you can actually just pick your own individual stocks and you can pick your own index funds completely by yourself. With Acorns, this is not the case because you can't select these funds by yourself. What happens is you have to choose one of their portfolios, and within that, the space they have and the freedom they give you there, that's actually about it. So it is more controlled by them. But then again, because it's more controlled by them, you know, the chance of having a certain return is also good. Is this good for a beginner investor? Absolutely. If you have no knowledge, if you have no strategy, you can use Acorns absolutely well. If you're a little bit more intermediate level of an investor, then Acorns is not something for you anymore because there are 2 different apps that you can use that you can have full control over of whatever you want to do. Okay, let's go to number 4. Now, number 4 is, of course, Fidelity. Now, Fidelity is a great way of making money. They have a great app. Now, the thing is, they do say it's completely free, but it's not. The moment you want to take out your money, so not when selling the actual stock or selling a certain fund, it's actually about when you want to take the money out of the account into your own bank account again. That's the moment when they charge you money. And this is actually a very smart way to make their money, of course. You will think, hey, trading is completely free. As long as I let my money in their bank account, it's free for me to let it there. Now they give you a lot of options, of course, in index funds and of course mutual funds, in option trading, in individual stocks trading. But there's a thing, they don't do day trading. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. But they even do bonds, for example. That's the cool part. They even do bonds. Not all apps do bonds. But again, of course, you don't always have full control of everything because, you know, they do give you a selection of funds and everything. This is category 1. You've got full control. You make all the choices. This is category number 2, Acorns and Fidelity. You lose the control slightly because you let other people choose for you, which is a great thing. You got to see it like this. They protect you from yourself. Now, Fidelity is a great choice if you want to give a little bit of control out of your hands to somebody else, which is totally fine, right? It really depends on how your strategy works. If you really like having somebody looking over your shoulder with you along saying like, is that a good choice or not? You have to keep in mind all the help, all the service they offer you, it is not free. Investing app number 5 is of course Webull. Now this is the interesting part. You see a lot of commercials on Webull. The moment you put in $100, you get 2 free stocks, you know, from Webull, just like that. They just started on recently and they grew on massively. They did a great job on marketing themselves, of course, and it's a great way to see them grow. Now, Webull, the reason why this is in category 3 in my case, you know, we got 1, 2, and 3, of course, why it's in category 3, the reason is this. They do not allow you to buy fractional shares at all. You can only buy full shares. Now, you know, if we talk about buying fractional shares or not being able to buy fractional shares, this is where it stops for me, because in my method, I teach all my clients how you should be buying fractional shares, because then it's dependent on your budget. You can select the amount of money that you want to invest each month, but Webull doesn't allow that. So that means if a certain stock is $450, then that's your minimum amount that you need to invest. And if you want to buy 2 shares, all of a sudden it's not 450, but all of a sudden you have to spend $900. And this is where it goes into a certain direction that I wouldn't say this is what I like. This is why Webull is in the category number 3, that you lose full control. So the 3 categories that are out there is having full control over all the shares that you buy with the money that you have. Then of course, category number 2 is having a semi control. Like, people are looking along over your shoulder, you pay a little bit of money for that. And of course, the number 3 category is they do not give you any control anymore. They decide what you need to buy, and they decide how much you need to spend the moment you want to invest. And these are the 3 categories that I wanted to share with you the moment you start investing. Now these, as you can see on the board, these are all US based because I have a lot of clients in the US as well. And of course, when you're watching this video, most likely, if you understand the English language, you're either in the US or you're not in the US. Let's go to the European investing apps now. So using apps that are meant for Europe, sometimes you're allowed to go to the US and also use those apps to trade in the US. Now, the other way around, I don't know why you can't use Robinhood outside of the US. I don't know that. Now, of course, before we go into that, if you liked the video up to now, be sure to hit that like button because that's the way how we can influence YouTube and make some more people watch this video as well. So the first investing app in Europe is eToro, as you can see. Now, eToro, it's very interesting. You see a lot of commercials on them as well. They also do cryptocurrency trading. That's an interesting part because you haven't seen that very often in those other apps because that's more about index funds and individual stocks. They also allow fractional shares. This is what I love. They actually just charge you money the moment, of course, you want to take out your money. That's how they make their money as well. It's a very smart way, just like I said with the other investing app, it's a very smart way to make their money. The moment you leave your money in, that's how they make their money. And the moment you take your money out from the brokerage account to your actual checking account, that's the moment how they make their money. eToro, you see it a lot. It's a growing company. They have, I don't know, like $1 billion of revenue. They're doing a great job. But yes, it's a great way to get started. The number 2 app here in Europe is, of course, our country own, the Netherlands. It's called DeGiro. The Giro is, the Giro, DeGiro. Dutch people tend to pronounce it differently, right? Now, DeGiro, they also give you the option to buy individual stocks. They give you the option to buy index funds, of course, but they don't let you buy mutual funds. That's something that is still very interesting. So they do allow you index funds, which is like a part of a mutual fund, but they don't let you invest in mutual funds in general. I suppose that's just more expensive. That's why they just do not allow you. But they do allow you to buy bonds, mostly in your own country. So that's something that you need to keep in mind if you like to invest in bonds. But then again, reinvesting options are not there. So if you want to do reinvesting options, you have to do it manually. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. Now, I love using DeGiro because they've got a very extensive stock selection method. You can select so many funds and so many stocks actually just using their app, which is just a great thing. Whereas on certain other apps, you just have a very limited selection of funds, for example, which is not always nice. But hey, it's just the way how they made their apps. The number 3 app, what I love as well, and I use as well myself, is Revolut. Revolut actually just gives you the option to invest internationally as well. The moment you just put in money on your Euro account, they can actually just change your currency into British pounds or in US dollars, and then they can use that money to invest for you. Now, the interesting part is this with Revolut, the moment you want to exchange your euros into pounds or into dollars, that's the way how they make their money. That's how they get their cuts on your money. And of course, all the money that you leave on your account that you're not investing yet, that's how they will take out the money and use and leverage your money to make money as well. And the number 4 app here in Europe is Plus 500. Now, it's not the biggest company here in Europe because they only have a revenue of 800 million per year. Yeah, 800 million. Plus 500, it's a very good platform that you can use to buy fractional shares, of course. You can buy a fraction of a certain share of a certain fund or a certain stock. It's a great way to invest your money as well. Plus 500, it's a great and easy app, easy to use. So why are they not that big? They have a limited selection of stocks that you can only buy. So there's not a lot of things that you can actually buy. The last one that I want to share with you is, of course, Trading 212. Also, again, another small app here in Europe that people tend to use is Trading 212. Again, they do allow you fractional shares. I just actually love fractional shares. It's just very easy. You just say, you know what, I'll just buy using $100 per month, or I'll just use $200 per month, or $1,000 per month. You can just say to the app, you know what, I just want to use this select amount of money, and with that money, I will buy the funds or stocks. Instead of the other way around, saying like, you know what, you need to invest at least this amount to invest in a certain stock or a fund. And this is why I love these European apps, which is just great. So if you want to learn more about investing, of course, and of course, if you have a question, leave a comment down below, and that's the way how I can help you out, because help is completely free. Thank you very much for watching today's video. If you liked the video, of course, be sure to hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to click on the subscribe button, because that's the way how we can grow our community. And of course, if you want to be notified every time a new video comes out, click the notification bell as well. Hey, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next time. Bye-bye, and happy investing.